Okay, this is Michael Pepper for MMABay.co.uk in association with Tap Out with a very special guest tonight, former UFC light heavyweight champion, Quinton Rampage Jackson. Thanks for joining us today, Quinton.
Yeah, and the first ever undisputed MMA champion in the world, and I got that title in London O2 Arena in '07, baby. Don't forget about that. The first ever undisputed. That's my problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people really knows who I am and my title and what I've brought to this sport of MMA. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, it's like you know what I'm saying, I don't get the you know what I'm saying, I don't get the respect that I've earned in this sport, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so big news is earlier this month you headed back to the UFC. I take it you headed back to come and get some of that respect that you've just been talking about. Can you explain to the fans what's prompted your decision to come back?
Well, basically, when I did a blog saying I was done with the UFC, a lot of people took it kind of not people to take it like my people that really know me and stuff. They and for people from Memphis and stuff like that, and other people maybe they probably got a grasp of what I was saying when they first read it, but then people thought I said I was retired. When I'm saying I'm done with something, I'm done with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And the way I really meant it is, you know what I'm saying, I didn't want to fight for the UFC, but I knew I had stuff on my contract, but I never said I was retired. But I was done with them. I did UFC a lot of favors. Granted, they did me favors and stuff, but I feel like I did a little bit more for them because I put my ass on the line for them, you know what I'm saying? I go out there, after my fight with Mandalay, I was supposed to get my title back, but I fight Jardine, and then they wanted me to fight Rashad with like 2 weeks off and back in camp when I was already overtrained for Jardine, and I hurt my jaw a week before the Mandalay fight. And so I was like, you know, that's the only thing I said no to the UFC. I said, no, you know, so I can't do it, but I wanted to, but my management then thought it wouldn't be a good idea. But I was going to say yes, but my management team and everybody thought that I should. And you know, so people, the fans, they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. All they see is two guys out there in the cage fighting. They don't know what they had to go through to get to that fight or the contract or anything. They don't know that stuff. Maybe they should know, and maybe they shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But the thing that they should know about me is that, you know what I'm saying, I try to be a man of my word, and you know what I'm saying, I'm a loyal guy to people who's loyal to me. But I feel like the UFC have been loyal to me. Like they just feel like they've been taking advantage of me in the past, and I feel like they were using me. And I asked the UFC for one thing. And one thing on is let me do this movie, and I told them how much the movie meant to me, and just push the fight back, then I could do it. Anything could have happened in the camp. I could have trained for Rashad and got hurt in camp and couldn't do the fight anyway, and still had to press it back or something like that. That would have been even worse. And anything could have happened, and then I could have said, "Fuck, I should have did the movie." And I didn't want to go through my life saying that I could did the movie or something that I in my heart really wanted me to do so bad with this movie. It was hard for me to choose this movie over a fight in Memphis, but I tell you what, if Rashad hadn't lost that belt, he still had the belt, I probably would have made a different decision. Why do I want to fight Rashad, somebody who didn't even have the belt? Yeah, I did the Ultimate Fighter show. No, I didn't know that when I signed the Ultimate Fighter show, yeah, Dana told me that I could fight Machida at first. Then I did that, and everybody thought I was scared of Machida and stuff, but I didn't say anything. I didn't do that. I just swallowed it and kept going. So, you know, yeah, Rashad pissed me off in Ultimate Fighter show, and I wanted to fight him. It was hard for me not to fight Rashad there on the damn show. It was so hard for me. I'm so proud of myself that I just didn't attack him and maul him right there on the show. Yeah, I wanted to fight him, but you know, fighting Rashad it was like something more personal than business. You know what I'm saying? And so this fight meant more to me than getting back at some cocky asshole. You know, this movie meant more to me than getting back at some cocky asshole that pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? Rashad is a boy under me. You know what I'm saying? You know, so you know his day is gonna come. But this movie was a once in a lifetime chance. I just hope my fans can understand that. Now I'm not talking about the MMA fans or the UFC fans. I'm talking about Rampage Jackson fans. Those are the fans that I care about. The fans that knew me from King of Cage and Pride days. Those are the fans that I'm talking to right now. Those are the fans that I'm coming back for and finishing my contract and You know what I'm saying?
Okay, many fighters have come back to the UFC and have been under a bit of a cloud from UFC President Dana White. What's the situation between you and Dana, and do you think you can put all this behind you personally?
Well, me, I'm a businessman. You know what I'm saying? Dana kind of deal with business off emotions, but you know what I'm saying? I don't really care for Dana anymore. When I say I'm done with the UFC, and I'm done with Dana, and I'm done with being their friend. I don't want to be their friends. I don't need friends like that. You know what I'm saying? It's all about me and my family and my team and stuff right now. I'm done. That means no more favors for the UFC. When I fought Marvin Eastman, you know what I'm saying? My next fight was Chuck Liddell. Okay, yeah, I had beat Chuck before in the past, but you know what I'm saying? Was I ready for a title fight at that time? You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But yeah, I trained hard and I brought Chet Congo into my camp. You know what I'm saying? Thank God he helped me get over my gunshot from getting down years ago and stuff like that. And bam, I beat Chuck. Then right away before I can even get out the cage, they scheduled me a fight with Dan Henderson. You know what I'm saying? One of my good friends I didn't even know about. And I was kind of salty about that because Dan Henderson knew that he was going to fight the winner, evidently, because he was there. And Chuck probably knew because they probably thought Chuck was going to win. But you know what I'm saying? No one told me. And I found out right there in front of everybody else at the same time that I was fighting Dan Henderson. And I was like, whoa, right away, bam, I'm fighting Dan Henderson. And that's kind of like wrong. You know what I'm saying? He puts you in a fight right away, and they don't even discuss it with you and stuff like that. But this is MMA. This is not boxing. We do things different. So I didn't complain. I didn't say nothing. I was happy to be there. You know what I'm saying? And then after I fight Dan, I get the undisputed championship. You know, so I don't get no pride belt in the cage. Nobody sees what history has been made, and they don't even promote. They don't even promote it that way. You know, that I made history and stuff like that. It's like taboo or under the scope or something. Why me? You know, so they promote Anderson Silva, undisputed champion. He did it. He beat Dan after me. You know what I'm saying? Why? What's up with this? You know what I'm saying? And then I fight Rashad. I fight Forrest, and you know what I'm saying? He hurt my leg and he hold me down for the second round, and then you know what I'm saying? He threw a bunch of punches. I'm slipping and bobbing and weaving because I'm still hurt and stuff like that. But I dropped him and I slammed him and I'm fighting and I do enough just to win because I'm hurt. That's the most hurt that I ever been in a fight where I can continue, and I still did it, and that's why I feel like I'm a champion in my heart, and I get my belt taken away from me. I was thinking, I was watching the fight. You know, in the cage, I was like, damn, if he won, damn, he must whoop my ass. So I didn't know. I was in the fight, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know. And then I watched the fight. I'm like, damn, I won that damn fight, right? And then, so I'm looking back at the Dan Henderson fight. Well, fuck. If I lost to Forrest, then I lost to Dan Henderson as well. You know what I'm saying? Because Dan Henderson fight was way closer than Forrest fight. I dropped Forrest clean in the first round, but I ended up losing the first round. And I'm saying this, I know the UFC has nothing to do with the judges and stuff like that, but you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was a controversial loss, but did I get an immediate rematch right away? They offered me Vanderlei Silva, and you know, I wanted a chance to get back at Vanderlei, so I was like, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Fuck it, then, yeah, I fight fucking Vanderlei, because you know I want to get back at everybody I lost to, but this fight with Machida and Shogun, you know, it was controversial, you know what I'm saying, and right away they get rematches. Anytime there's a controversial fight in the UFC, they always offer rematches right away. But no, come on, I know if it weren't for Forrest, the UFC wouldn't be where they at with the Ultimate Fighter show. I know this. I understand all this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a team player. I understand this shit, but you know what I'm saying? It just ain't right when people get fucked that way. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I know people have their favorites and stuff like that. So what? Oh, sorry. All right, yeah, you guys can edit it the way y'all want to edit it. Man, I'm just saying. I'm just talking. But what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy to be back in the UFC, and I just want the fans to know, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same Rampage, you know, no more. It's not the, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same Rampage, you know, no more. I'm totally different, you know what I'm saying? I'm out for me. I'm promoting me, and I'm gonna still put on exciting fights. I'm gonna try to knock everybody's head off who step in the cage with me. Whoever had the balls to step in the cage with me,